Hi, I'm Consuelo Cruz with Culture and Creative Services, and I'm at the Belger Arts Center at 2100 Walnut in the Crossroads Arts District to tell you about another arts and cultural event that is coming to Kansas City from March 16th through the 19th that is supported by the Neighborhood Tourist Development Fund. And to tell us about this conference, which is the National Council on Education for the Ceramics Arts, is Paul Donnelly, who is the on-site liaison for the conference, and Mo Dickens, who is the gallery assistant for Belger Arts Center. Thank you for having us at the Belger Arts Center. Now, Paul, in addition to you being the on-site liaison, you are a ceramic artist, and you are also on the faculty of the Kansas City Art Institute. Yep. So what better person to tell us about the conference, the NCCA conference, and to tell us why this is an especially important year?
Well, it's come to Kansas City to celebrate its 50th anniversary, and you know, it's probably going to be one of the larger NCCA conferences coming, you know, that they're going to have, and there's probably almost 5,000 people already registered for the event. NCCA is a national conference that rotates around the country from year to year, and it supports a variety of different programming, from lectures to panel discussions to demonstrating artists to gallery exhibits, and you know, it's just a huge event that takes about 3 or 4 days, and there's pre-conference events and post-conference events, so it's just a really fantastic opportunity for people to engage with the ceramic arts.
And it's not just for conference attendees. Kansas
Right.
Cityans can come to public programs, and there is also, and to learn about the long history that Kansas City has had with the ceramic arts and with the clay medium. Can you give us a little background on that history, Mo?
This is the 50th year of NCCA, and back in 1969, which was the third, it was actually held here in Kansas City, and it's been here 2 other times in the 80s and again in 2002. And in 2002, we got such great feedback, and people said it was the best ever. And NCCA moves around. It's been to Houston and Milwaukee and Seattle, but everybody's been looking forward to coming back to Kansas City. And one thing I find exciting is, since it was here in '02, we've got the Kaufman Performing Arts Center, we've got the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs, we've got the Belger Crane Yard Studios, which is an entirely new complex that's blown up since '02. So Kansas City was already well steeped in the history of the clay movement, contemporary clay in America, and it's just gotten bigger and better since then.
Can you tell us about the exhibits that you have currently up at Belger Arts Center and why you decided to get a little bit of a jump start?
The show we're standing in represents 14 collectors who loaned us all this work that were purchased in the semester sales. So we have local, you know, collected work, and then right across the hall we have the Desire Show, which features 37 artists from 22 countries, and they all responded to one word: desire. And I got to admit, when I heard we were doing a show called Desire, I was kind of thinking it might end up being a sexy show. And some of the first work that arrived was from a Turkish artist, and it was porcelain shoes representing Syrian refugees who had drowned trying to flee the war. And what she desired was to live in a war-free Middle East. And I realized very early on that we weren't getting the show I thought we were getting, but when you deal with artists, you never do know what you're going to get. And it turned out to be an incredibly thought-provoking show, and I hope everybody will come down and see all these wonderful exhibits we have here at the Belger Arts Center.
And there are a number of exhibits throughout the city. As I mentioned, it was over 100.
Regional.
And it's also, so from the northeast part of town, we have the Kansas City Museum, who's participating with an exhibit on the American Jazz Museum, is also participating on the east side. We have exhibitions as far south in the city as Brookside and UMKC, and then we have the West Bottoms, who has a great representation of also another set of venues. But we also have Johnson County. You mentioned Lawrence, Topeka, Warrensburg, Sedalia, Missouri. So this isn't just about the city. This is a Midwest regional showing of what is the ceramic art form. And so I mentioned all of these different places for people to see, and these are all of the exhibitions are open to the public. So how can conference goers and Kansas Cityans attend and get to all of these places?
There's 100 exhibitions between Sedalia and Lawrence, so we're not going to be able to touch them all, but NCCA.net has a great listings and information on the bus routes and everything else you need to know about the conference.
So again, NCCA.net, NCECA.net is your source. Thank you so much for having me here.
Consuelo, I like to say clay people's good people. And I hope the Kansas Cityans will turn out and meet all these good people, these 5,000 good artists
that are coming from all over the world.
Are coming to Kansas City, and they're going to be blown away with what they find here.
The Neighborhood Tourist Development Fund supports local nonprofits that bring cultural, social, educational, and recreational activities to our area. To learn about additional upcoming events, visit kcmo.gov/NTDF.